All right, so today we're going deep on MicroStrategy and their Bitcoin strategy. They're going all in on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And we got some excerpts from this document.
Okay.
Um, basically, I guess you could say it's like Metin Yapushtildld, I think is how you pronounce that. But it's basically laying out their plan. And it's pretty wild. They are really into Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're not just buying it. They're using all these, like, financial tools to get more. It's like, imagine a poker player.
Okay.
They've got a hand they really believe in.
Yeah.
And they're not just betting their chips. They're, like, selling their watch, their car, everything to get more chips on the table.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of what MicroStrategy is doing with Bitcoin.
I like that analogy. It really captures their conviction.
Yeah. And the document, it really emphasizes that. Like, they're not just saying, oh, crypto is hot right now, let's jump in. They're like, Bitcoin is the future of finance. A long-term store of value that's going to blow everything else out of the water.
Exactly. And that belief is driving their whole strategy.
So how are they actually funding this Bitcoin buying spree? Well, a big part of it is these things called convertible notes. Now, I'm not a finance whiz, so break it down for me like I'm 5.
Sure. So imagine a loan that can turn into company stock if certain conditions are met.
Okay.
That's a convertible note.
Yeah.
It lets companies raise money fast without immediately diluting their stock or putting up collateral,
I see.
which is really handy in the crypto world because it's so unpredictable.
Yeah, that makes sense. But here's what I don't get. MicroStrategy issued these notes at 0% interest.
Right.
That's crazy. Like, who gives out free money?
Well, it's not exactly free money. It's more like investors are so confident in MicroStrategy's plan and in Bitcoin's potential. They're basically betting that both MicroStrategy will succeed and that Bitcoin's price will skyrocket.
So it's like a double gamble.
Yeah, you could say that. If Bitcoin takes off, owning MicroStrategy stock, which you could get through these notes, could be incredibly valuable.
Oh, so it's like they're buying a lottery ticket that could win in 2 different ways.
It's a calculated risk, for sure, but the potential payoff is huge.
And we're not talking small potatoes here. As of December 15th, MicroStrategy is holding a whopping 439,000 Bitcoins, worth about, get this, $46 billion.
Wow.
That's a lot of faith in one asset.
It is, and that's where the risk comes in. Because what if Bitcoin crashes?
Yeah.
MicroStrategy could be in a tough spot. They might be forced to sell Bitcoin at a loss or issue more stock to pay off their debts, and that could hurt their existing shareholders.
So there's definitely a downside.
Absolutely. It's a high-stakes game they're playing.
But they're not just blindly throwing money at Bitcoin, right?
Okay.
The document talks a lot about how they're carefully managing their debt, trying to avoid a situation where they'd have to sell Bitcoin if the price drops.
Right. They're aware of the risks, and they're taking steps to mitigate them.
Which is good to know because $46 billion, that's a lot to lose.
It is. But what's interesting is how MicroStrategy's strategy is influencing other players in the crypto space. You know, companies like MRRA, Riot Platforms, and Bitdeer, they're all using convertible notes to raise billions of dollars.
Really?
Yeah. For things like Bitcoin mining, expanding their operations. It's becoming a bit of a trend, don't you think?
So it's like MicroStrategy is leading the charge and others are following suit.
You could say that. It's a sign that, at least within the industry, there's growing confidence in Bitcoin's future.
Okay, so let's pretend for a second I'm an investor.
All right.
Someone comes to me with these MicroStrategy convertible notes. What should I be thinking about?
Well, first and foremost, your risk tolerance. How comfortable are you with the possibility of losing money?
Not very.
Right. Well, then this might not be the investment for you because there's always a chance Bitcoin could tank and you could lose a significant chunk of your investment.
Okay, so risk tolerance first.
Definitely. And then you need to really understand Bitcoin. Do your research. It's a volatile asset. It goes up and down like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You need to be comfortable with that.
All right, so research Bitcoin, understand the volatility. What else?
Well, at the end of the day, you have to decide if the potential reward outweighs the risk. If you believe in Bitcoin's long-term potential and you trust MicroStrategy's strategy, then these notes might be a good fit.
But it's a big decision, not something to jump into lightly.
Exactly. It requires careful consideration.
Okay, so to sum up, we've got MicroStrategy going all in on Bitcoin. They're using these things called convertible notes to raise billions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's a risky strategy, but it could pay off big time if Bitcoin keeps going up. And other companies are starting to follow their lead, which is kind of fascinating.
It is, and it raises a lot of questions about the future of crypto and its impact on traditional finance. Like, what if this trend keeps going? What if more and more companies start using these unconventional financial tools to bet on Bitcoin?
Yeah, what happens then?
Could it lead to greater integration between the crypto world and the traditional financial system? Or will we see a clash of ideologies? Will the old guard resist this new wave, or will they eventually have to adapt?
Right. Those are some big questions.
They are, and I don't have the answers. But I think they're worth thinking about as we watch this space evolve.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. Well, thanks for breaking it all down for us. This has been a really interesting deep dive.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, keep those questions in mind and let us know what you think. Until next time.